I got to West Catholic because I was subbing for a nun who broke her ankle, and I stayed here for about 30-some years, and I taught biology, anatomy, and physical science. The highlight of my career was just coming to school every day. In biology, we would go through the bones, and at some point I would say, well, how can you tell if this is a male or a female skeleton? Something happened in Genesis, and of course the kid would read, oh yeah, God took a rib out of man and made a woman out of it. There you go. A male has 23 ribs, a female has 24. And that really wasn't true. But years later, kids would come up to me and say, Mr. Mulder, I was taking a science class in college and I mentioned that and they all laughed at me. I said, I'm sorry, I lied. A second thing I want to clear up is when we dissected clams in biology, I would stick pearls in about 15 or 20 clams. The first kid found a clam with a pearl in it and they're all going nuts trying to find pearls. And they never said to me, Mr. Mulder, this perfect pearl has a hole in the middle. It wasn't really true, but at least it made dissecting clams a little more interesting. In anatomy, the cat dissection was probably the favorite thing. I would come into the classroom and I would open up the back of the stomach and I would stick things in there like AAA batteries, tubes of chapstick. Mr. Mulder, this cat ate a Smurf. Yeah, they'll do that. Well, I apologize. Those weren't things they really ate. I stuck them all in there. Will you please forgive me? When I started the trip, it was a pretty small trip, 7, 8 kids, and it just sort of grew from 8 to 12. I think my last trip was 122 kids out of 140 in the class. And eventually it became known as the, quote, out west trip. Hours and hours of euchre, sitting around the campfire, the hikes we took, just the camaraderie of being around people and meeting new people. Kids enjoyed it, whether 8 kids went or 122, and that was all I cared about. For me to have taught here, I just enjoyed it. For the faith, the great students, the parents who support, all of it just ties in together and made it, for me, a very positive experience.